Welcome to today's episode of the podcast. The question we are exploring is simple but powerful. Do we really need college to succeed? For many people, success has always been linked to education. The message is familiar. Study hard, get into a good college, and the future will be secure. But is that promise still true in today's world? Some argue yes. They believe college opens doors, provides valuable knowledge, and creates strong networks. Others argue no. They say college is expensive, often outdated, and not always the most practical path to real success. In this episode, both sides of the argument will be explored. There will be personal stories of people who followed the college path and thrived, as well as stories of those who skipped college yet built meaningful and successful careers. Cultural perspectives will also be included. In some countries, college is considered the only respectable path. In others, skills, experience, and creativity are valued more than formal education. The aim here is not to declare one path as the winner. The aim is to provide a balanced look at how education connects to success so every listener can reflect and decide what works best for them. Before moving forward, here's a question to think about. Do you believe success depends on a degree? Or do you believe it comes more from passion, persistence, and creativity? Hold that thought as the conversation unfolds. This podcast will not use heavy statistics or complicated theories. It will stay real, simple, and practical. Think of it as a conversation you might have with a friend who challenges your perspective. So, take a moment, relax, and join in. Because the question of whether we truly need college to succeed is not just about education. It's about the choices we make, the opportunities we create, and the future we want to build. Part 2. Why college matters. When people talk about the importance of college, one of the first points that comes up is opportunity. For decades, a college degree has been seen as a passport to better jobs, higher income, and greater security. Employers often look at education as proof that someone has the discipline, skills, and knowledge to take on responsibility. A degree is more than just a piece of paper. It is often a signal. It tells the world that the person holding it has committed years of effort, passed through a series of challenges, and gained a foundation in critical thinking. For many, this foundation is what helps them compete in a fast and demanding job market. Another reason college is considered valuable is the range of knowledge it provides. While school focuses on basic subjects, college opens the door to specialized fields. Whether it's engineering, medicine, law, finance, or the arts, higher education gives learners the chance to dive deep into subjects that shape their careers. This level of focus is hard to achieve on one's own. Beyond academics, college offers something else: connections. The people met in lecture halls, study groups, and campus clubs often become part of a lifelong network. Professors, classmates, and alumni can open doors that might otherwise stay closed. These networks can lead to internships, job offers, or even business partnerships later in life. College also provides a structured environment for personal growth. It is often the first time people live independently, manage their own schedules, and make important decisions without daily parental guidance. This environment teaches responsibility, independence, and problem solving. Even outside the classroom, these lessons become part of who someone is. Then there is the matter of credibility. In many cultures, a college degree carries social respect. It tells family, friends, and society that a person has reached a recognized milestone. For parents who never had that chance, seeing their child graduate can feel like the achievement of a lifetime. In this way, college is not only about the individual. It can also be about family pride and social identity. Another important point is adaptability. The modern workplace is constantly changing. Technology is advancing, industries are evolving, and new careers are emerging. A solid college education can give people the skills to adapt. It's not just about memorizing facts. It's about learning how to learn. A strong educational background makes it easier to shift paths, retrain, and grow in new directions. Of course, there's also the economic argument. Studies have consistently shown that, on average, people with college degrees earn more over their lifetimes than those without. While there are exceptions, the general pattern still holds true. Employers often use a degree as a basic filter, a minimum requirement before even considering applicants. Without that degree, many opportunities may never appear. For certain professions, college is not just helpful, it is essential. No one can become a licensed doctor, lawyer, or architect without years of formal training. The trust placed in these professionals comes from the assurance that they have gone through rigorous education and testing. In these fields, college is not just a choice, it is the foundation of the profession itself. And then there is the broader perspective. College is not only about jobs or money. It is also about exposure to new ideas. On campus, students encounter people from different backgrounds, cultures, and beliefs. These interactions can challenge assumptions, widen perspectives, and help develop empathy. Exposure to diversity often makes individuals more prepared to work in a globalized world. For many, college is also a place of discovery. A person might begin in one field and realize their passion lies in another. The environment of learning, exploration, and experimentation makes it possible to uncover hidden talents or new dreams. Without this space, many people would never have the chance to find their true direction. It is also worth mentioning that college can serve as a safety net. In times of economic uncertainty, those with degrees often find it easier to re-enter the workforce or move into new industries. Even if their first job disappears, their education provides them with flexibility to seek alternatives. Finally, there's the sense of achievement. Walking across the stage on graduation day, receiving that diploma, and knowing years of effort have led to that moment is a powerful feeling. It is a milestone that creates confidence and motivates people to aim even higher. Of course, none of this means college is perfect. It has its flaws, its costs, and its critics. But despite the challenges, millions continue to see it as a valuable investment. For many families, it represents hope. For many individuals, it represents a bridge to opportunities they might otherwise never reach. And so, the case for college remains strong. It is not only about the knowledge gained in classrooms, but also about the opportunities, networks, personal growth, and credibility that come with it. For countless people around the world, college is still seen as the surest path to success. Part 3. Why college isn't always necessary. For every story of success that begins with a college degree, there are also stories of success without one. The idea that higher education is the only path to achievement has been challenged more and more in recent years. The truth is, many people have built meaningful and prosperous lives without ever stepping into a university lecture hall. One of the strongest arguments against the necessity of college is cost. Tuition fees have risen dramatically in many countries. Families often take on huge loans, and students graduate with debts that can take decades to repay. For some, this financial burden is heavier than the benefits that come with the degree. Instead of starting their adult lives with freedom, many begin with debt that limits choices. Another argument is relevance. The world of work is changing faster than most colleges can update their curriculum. By the time a course is redesigned and approved, new technologies and industries may already have taken over. Skills like coding, digital marketing, or video production are often learned faster through online platforms, boot camps, or direct practice than through a four-year program. For people who value speed and relevance, self-learning and alternative education can sometimes be the better path. There is also the rise of entrepreneurship. Many of today's well-known entrepreneurs never completed college. They succeeded because of creativity, persistence, and the ability to solve problems, not because of a diploma. In the business world, results often matter more than credentials. A good idea, hard work, and a strong network can outweigh formal qualifications. Another point often raised is individuality. Not everyone learns best in classrooms, textbooks, and lectures. Some people thrive through hands-on experience, mentorship, and exploration. For these individuals, college may feel restrictive rather than empowering. For example, a person who wants to be a craftsman, artist, or digital creator may learn more by doing than by studying theory in a lecture hall. The internet has also transformed learning. With tutorials, online courses, podcasts, and communities, knowledge is more accessible than ever. Anyone with a computer and curiosity can learn complex skills at their own pace. Platforms like these have given people in small towns, remote villages, or developing countries the chance to compete with those who had access to expensive universities. Another perspective is time. College often takes years, and while that time can be valuable, it also delays entry into the workforce. Some people prefer to spend those years gaining real-world experience, building portfolios, or starting businesses. By the time their peers graduate, they may already have years of professional experience and financial independence. There's also the emotional side. Not everyone feels inspired or motivated in academic environments. Some people find college stressful, uninspiring, or even suffocating. Instead of thriving, they struggle. For them, success comes not from forcing themselves into a system that does not fit, but from choosing paths where they can use their energy and creativity freely. Another important point is that degrees do not guarantee jobs anymore. In the past, a diploma almost guaranteed employment. Today, competition is tougher, and employers often look for experience, skills, and adaptability more than just a certificate. Many graduates find themselves underemployed, working in jobs that do not require their degree. This raises the question, if a degree does not always secure a better job, is it worth the years of effort and financial investment? Some cultures also value practical skills over formal education. In many places, trades like carpentry, plumbing, or electrical work provide steady incomes and independence. These careers require training, but not necessarily a college degree. Skilled trades are often in high demand, and people in these fields can earn as much, or sometimes more, than degree holders. Success stories also highlight this path. Artists, athletes, entertainers, and digital creators often succeed without formal education. What drives them is talent, discipline, and a unique voice. Their achievements prove that success does not come from following a single formula, but from building on individual strengths. It is also important to recognize the role of passion. Many successful people who did not attend college followed what they loved with energy and persistence. They worked hard, built connections, and took risks. College can provide knowledge, but passion provides motivation. Without passion, even a degree may not lead to real success. Another key factor is adaptability. People who teach themselves skills often become flexible learners. They are used to solving problems independently, adjusting to changes, and finding creative solutions. These qualities are powerful in a world where industries change quickly and certainty is rare. Of course, choosing not to go to college is not without risks. It requires strong discipline, a willingness to work hard, and often a higher tolerance for uncertainty. But for some people, those risks are worth it. The potential rewards, freedom from debt, control over one's path, and the chance to grow outside traditional systems make the risk worthwhile. The debate comes down to this. College can provide structure, resources, and opportunities, but it is not the only way. In today's world, success is shaped by many factors: skills, creativity, resilience, networks, and sometimes just timing. For some, these can be built outside of classrooms just as effectively, if not more so, than inside them. And so, the case against college being a requirement for success is strong. Rising costs, outdated curricula, accessible alternatives, and changing definitions of success all make it clear that higher education is not the only path. Success can come from many directions, and college is just one of them. Part 4. Personal Stories, Success with and Without College. Debates and arguments are useful, but nothing speaks louder than real stories. Success means different things to different people, and the paths to reaching it can vary widely. Some have walked the traditional road of higher education and found it rewarding. Others have taken alternative paths and proven that success is still possible. Let's explore both kinds of stories. Consider the story of someone who pursued higher education. A young student from a small town worked tirelessly to get into a respected engineering college. For years, they studied late into the night, pushed through difficult exams, and finally earned a degree. That degree opened the door to a stable job in a global company. Over time, the knowledge gained in college allowed them to grow into leadership roles. For this person, college was more than just classes. It was a gateway to financial security, career growth, and the chance to support their family. Another story comes from medicine. A student dreamed of becoming a doctor since childhood. College, in this case, was not optional. The years of study were long, exhausting, and often expensive, but they were necessary. Without formal education, there would be no way to practice medicine legally or ethically. After years of training, this person became a doctor, treating patients and saving lives. For them, college was not just a path to success, it was a path to fulfilling a lifelong purpose. But not all stories follow this script. Consider someone who chose a different route. Instead of going to college, they focused on learning digital design online. They started small, creating graphics for local businesses, and gradually built a portfolio. Over time, they gained enough clients to launch their own freelance career. Eventually, they created a design agency that employed others. For this person, skipping college did not mean skipping success. Instead, it meant building skills independently and turning them into a thriving business. Another example comes from the world of technology. A young person fascinated with computers began coding as a teenager. Instead of entering university, they built projects, joined online forums, and learned through trial and error. Eventually, their work caught the attention of a startup and later larger companies. Without a degree, they became highly valued for their practical skills. Their story shows that in certain industries, especially those driven by rapid change, talent and experience can matter more than formal education. There are also stories that reveal the challenges of relying on college alone. A graduate with a business degree expected job opportunities to flow immediately after graduation. But reality was different. Competition was fierce, and the degree alone was not enough. After months of searching, they realized they needed practical experience. Volunteering, internships, and side projects eventually helped them secure a job. The lesson here is that while college can open doors, it does not guarantee automatic success. Effort, persistence, and adaptability are still required. On the other hand, there are stories that highlight the risks of skipping college. A young person who decided not to pursue higher education struggled to find stable work. Without recognized credentials, many employers overlooked their applications. Despite being talented, opportunities were limited. It took years of persistence and side jobs before they managed to build something sustainable. For them, skipping college made the road much harder and longer. Family expectations also play a role in these stories. In many households, being the first to attend college is a major achievement. A student who became the first graduate in their family not only improved their own life, but also inspired younger siblings. For that family, college represented hope, pride, and progress. At the same time, there are stories of individuals who faced family pressure to attend college but found happiness outside it. One young person enrolled in a degree program they had little interest in. After struggling for 2 years, they decided to leave and pursue a passion for cooking. Through apprenticeships and hard work, they eventually opened a successful restaurant. Their journey was difficult, but in the end, it brought fulfillment that college had not. The creative world also offers powerful stories. Musicians, artists, and writers often succeed through talent, dedication, and visibility rather than formal education. A singer who began uploading songs online gained a following, eventually signing with a record label. No degree was required, only passion and persistence. Similarly, a writer who shared stories on social media attracted a wide audience, later publishing books. Their success came from creativity and resilience, not academic credentials. These personal stories show that success cannot be defined by a single path. For some, college is essential. It provides structure, credibility, and access to professions that cannot be reached otherwise. For others, college may be unnecessary or even limiting, and success comes from pursuing alternative routes with determination and skill. What stands out most in these stories is the variety. Success can come from structured education, but it can also grow out of independence, creativity, and risk-taking. What matters most is not the presence or absence of a degree, but the ability to learn, adapt, and persevere. The message is clear. College can be a powerful tool, but it is not the only one. Real-life examples prove that people can and do succeed on both sides of the debate. In Latin America, college is often seen as a way to climb the social ladder, but the economic gap can make it difficult for everyone to access. Public universities may offer opportunities, but competition is fierce, and private institutions are often expensive. In some countries, having a degree can set someone apart, while in others, corruption or weak job markets mean that degrees do not always guarantee stable employment. As a result, many young people turn to entrepreneurship, family businesses, or migration to seek opportunities. What is fascinating is how cultural expectations shape individual choices. In societies where education is seen as the ultimate path, people may feel pressure to attend college, even if they are unsure of their interests. In cultures where alternatives are respected, individuals may feel freer to explore different routes. For example, in Germany, choosing an apprenticeship is not seen as a failure, it is seen as a smart choice. In contrast, in South Korea, skipping university could bring social criticism even if someone is talented in another field. Globalization is also changing the conversation. With the rise of remote work and digital platforms, people from different parts of the world can compete for the same opportunities. A designer in the Philippines, a programmer in Nigeria, or a marketer in Brazil can work for international clients without holding a formal degree. This shift is slowly challenging the traditional dominance of college credentials, at least in fields that value skills and creativity more than certificates. Another cultural insight is the role of government policies. In countries where higher education is free or affordable, like Norway or Finland, attending college feels natural and beneficial. There is little financial risk, so more people pursue degrees without fear of debt. On the other hand, in countries where tuition costs are high, like the United States, students must weigh the decision carefully. The same degree that is affordable in one culture might be a lifelong burden in another. Religious and philosophical traditions also influence views on education. In some cultures, learning is seen as a moral duty, something that shapes not just careers but character. In others, practical success and financial independence are valued more than formal study. These deep cultural roots explain why people in different societies view college so differently. Looking at these cultural insights, one thing becomes clear. There is no universal answer to the question of whether college is necessary. The answer depends on where you live, what your society values, and what opportunities are available. In one country, skipping college might be seen as brave and innovative. In another, it might be seen as reckless or shameful. But across cultures, one theme repeats. Success comes from preparation, hard work, and the ability to adapt. Whether through formal education or alternative paths, individuals who stay committed to growth and learning often find ways to thrive. College may be one route, but it is never the only one. Part 6. Closing debate plus balanced conclusion. We have explored both sides of the question. Do we really need college to succeed? On one side, college offers knowledge, structure, networks, and credibility. For many professions, it is not optional, it is essential. On the other side, college can be expensive, slow to adapt, and not always necessary for every career. Real stories and cultural perspectives show that success has many possible paths. So where does this leave us? The truth lies in balance. College can be an incredible tool, but it is not the only tool. A degree can open doors, but it does not guarantee success. Skills, creativity, resilience, and passion matter just as much, and in some cases, even more. Success depends not only on education, but also on how someone uses what they learn, whether inside classrooms or outside them. It is also important to think about resources. In societies where education is affordable and accessible, college may be the best option. In places where education creates debt or limited opportunities, alternative paths may be wiser. Each culture, each family, and each person faces different realities. The biggest lesson is that learning never stops. Whether in college or outside it, those who succeed are the ones who keep growing. Reading, practicing, networking, experimenting, all of these matter. The world rewards people who can adapt, solve problems, and bring value to others. For parents, teachers, and society, the challenge is to support both paths. Instead of forcing everyone into one mold, it is better to recognize different talents and different ways of learning. A society that respects both degree holders and self-taught innovators becomes stronger, more diverse, and more creative. For individuals, the key is self-awareness. Ask, what do I want to achieve? What skills do I need? What resources are available to me? With honest answers, the choice between college and alternatives becomes clearer. In the end, success is not about a diploma on the wall. Success is about purpose, effort, and persistence. College can help, but it is not the only road. Each path has its challenges, and each path has its rewards. What matters most is choosing a path with intention and walking it with dedication.